1. Alana's first werecat encounter. Alana, POV. It had been just over 6 years since Kyle stood up for me, and life had been a lot more peaceful for the most part. However, there were those occasional hard times where Julie would say or do something if nobody else was around but her little group of minions. She would use those opportunities to say mean things to me, and sometimes she would slap me across the face, or she would use her nails to scratch my arms. I made it a point to not shed a tear after the first few times, because I didn't want to give her that satisfaction. Of course, that didn't stop me from making a promise to myself. I wanted more than anything to get revenge on her for all the mean things she did and said to me throughout the years. The only problem was, I knew I would have to come up with an exceptionally good plan to make that happen, since she was so much stronger than me. But I was determined to do just that. I had taken to reading books that were a little darker in nature. A lot of them talked about revenge, and that is what fueled my desire to get payback on the she-bully for all her wrongdoings. I had no intention of killing Julie, but I wanted to make her feel the same pain she had caused me, plus a little more. I also wanted to hear her apologize to me while she begs for mercy. Over the last 2 years, there had been a lot of talk among the pack members about going to war with a group of werecats. I didn't understand why everybody was so intent on being enemies with them, so I read some textbooks about the werecat species. In fact, I became downright obsessed with learning about them, and I wanted to leave my pack and go find a group of them when I turned 18. I was sitting on my front porch reading about them when the strangest scent hit me. It was a strong scent smelling like oranges and cocoa that tickled my nose in the weirdest way. I was quick to set my book down. Then I followed the scent all the way to the pack's dungeon. I wasn't sure what to expect when I opened the big steel door, but I went for it anyway. As soon as I stepped inside, I glanced around and didn't see any guards. Then I quickly followed the scent to one of the last cells. When I looked between the cell bars, I saw a cute guy sitting in the corner. He had midnight black hair that had a hint of dark blue, and he had the most stunning ocean blue eyes. The second our eyes locked, his immediately widened, with a look of surprise evident in them. Neither of us said a word right away. Instead, we stared each other down for a few minutes. Then he stood up and slowly stalked closer to the cell bars. Once he was standing in front of me, he warily asked, "Why have you come here?" I was too confused to come up with a reasonable answer, so I nervously rambled. "I don't know. A scent was tickling my nose, so I followed it to you." "Aren't you a werewolf?" he asked in confusion. "Yes. Aren't you?" I sheepishly responded. "No, I'm a werecat," he proudly informed me as he straightened his posture. "Is that why your scent smells so strange to me?" I curiously asked. The cute werecat chuckled at my question. Then he nonchalantly replied, "Yes, that is why. However, I don't understand why my scent would be tickling your nose." "Me neither," I shyly admitted, before I asked, "Why are you here?" He released a sigh of frustration. Then he anxiously answered, "I accidentally crossed the border. Then your warriors cornered me in the forest and brought me here." "Did you hurt one of them or something?" I curiously asked. "Nah. We try to keep the peace when we can." "What's your name, little one?" he calmly asked. "My name is Alana. What's your name?" I immediately replied. He flashed me a sweet smile. Then he cheerfully stated, "I am Lance Chesterfield, and it's a pleasure to meet such a sweet werewolf." "You are a lot nicer than I expected," I coyly admitted. "Tell me, Alana, why are you so much smaller than the other werewolves?" he curiously asked. "I was born with a birth defect on my heart. Nobody thought I would live this long, but I refuse to die before I get the chance to meet my mate," I quickly explained. Lance chuckled before he cheekily replied, "I'm glad you are still around. It's nice to have somebody to talk to while I'm stuck in here." I'm also glad. I've always wanted to meet a werecat. In fact, I have been planning to leave this pack when I turn 18, to search for your kind, I timidly informed him. A wide smile stretched across his face. Then he adamantly insisted, "You should come visit me. I would love to introduce you to my friends and family." "I would like that. Where is home for you?" I enthusiastically asked. "If you go to the territory located to the east, you will find me. Now, tell me a little more about yourself," he stated with a cute smile. "Well, I don't really have friends because my classmates think I'm a freak. My favorite color is pink, and I love to read books. It's my favorite thing to do," I sheepishly admitted. "Alana, you definitely have a friend now. My favorite color is blue, and I also like to read," he cheerfully informed me. I beamed an excited smile in return. Then I said in a hushed voice, "Let's get you out of here." "How are you going to do that?" he curiously asked, with confusion lacing his facial features. "I'm sure there is a set of keys around here somewhere," I confidently stated. Then I walked back to the front area of the dungeon and looked around. As soon as I spotted a key ring full of different keys hanging on the wall, I climbed onto the desk and grabbed it. With the keys in hand, I quickly made my way back to the cell that was holding Lance. Then I took turns trying the different keys until I found the correct one. The second I heard the clank of the clock moving, I released a sigh of relief, then finished unlocking the cell. Lance was quick to open the cell door. Then he lifted me up and sprinted toward the front entrance. Once we got there, he anxiously asked, "Where did you find those keys?" "They were hanging right there," I replied, while pointing at a nail that was sticking out of the wall. Lance quickly hung the keys back on the nail. Then he slowly opened the door of the dungeon and glanced outside. After making sure there wasn't anybody around, he sprinted out of the dungeon and straight to the forest. Once he was confident nobody followed us, Lance set me down and appreciatively stated, "Thank you so much for helping me. I owe you big time. Don't hesitate to come find me when you turn 18. "I will definitely do that," I assured him. Then he gave me a quick hug before he sprinted through the forest and out of my line of sight. I quickly made my way back home. Then I sprinted to the bathroom with one thought on my mind. I needed to take a shower right away. I could still smell Lance's scent on me, and I didn't want my parents or anybody else to smell it and know that I was the one who helped him escape.
Lance POV. I couldn't believe that the frailest and weakest werewolf in the pack was the one who helped me escape. There was something about the she-wolf that seemed to call out to me. When she told me my scent tickled her nose, I was nothing short of completely surprised by the revelation. I couldn't deny the fact that her scent also tickled my nose, but I didn't tell her that. She had the sweetest scent that smelled like cherries and vanilla, and I hoped for the chance to smell her scent again in the future. What captivated me the most about Alana was the way her smile made her face light up. She looked just like an angel every time she smiled, with her pale skin, white hair, and dull gray eyes. After she helped me escape, I carried her to the middle of the forest. Then I set her down and appreciatively stated, "Thank you so much for helping me. I owe you big time. Don't hesitate to come find me when you turn 18. "I will definitely do that," she assured me with that sweet smile plastered on her face. I gave her a hug, and she was quick to return the hug. That gesture warmed my heart and brought me a tremendous amount of joy. I wanted to keep talking to her, but I knew that it was too dangerous to stick around any longer. After she pulled away from the hug, I flashed her a smile. Then I sprinted through the forest and didn't stop running until I crossed the border. At that point, I stopped running and turned around. I stared at the forest in front of me with the desire to see her face again, but I knew that wouldn't happen. There was no way the frail little she-wolf would be able to keep up with my fast running pace, but that didn't stop me from looking anyway. After a few more minutes, I ran back to my house. Both of my parents were sitting together in the living room, but neither of them paid me any attention when I walked into the house. They were too focused on whatever they were watching on the television to notice my disheveled state, and I was thankful for that. I ran up the stairs to my bedroom. Then I grabbed a change of clothes and headed straight for a shower. I felt especially dirty after sitting in that cell, and didn't like that feeling one bit. Werecats were very clean shapeshifters, and we couldn't stand anything being dirty. I got the shower water as hot as I could stand it. Then I stepped under the cascading water and let it rinse the dirt and filth off of me. After I scrubbed my body and washed my hair, I got out of the shower and dried off. Then I pulled on a pair of black sweatpants and a dark gray t-shirt. Once I was dressed, I ran my hands through my short black hair. Then I walked back to my bedroom. I climbed onto my bed. Then I stared up at the ceiling and thought about that cute little she-wolf. I couldn't seem to get her pretty face out of my mind for some odd reason. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to. Every time I thought about her, I would feel my lips curve up to form a small smile. I was usually a fairly happy person the majority of the time already, but I felt especially happy after meeting Alanna. She gave me hope that one day, our species might be able to once again live peacefully beside her species.